Sold, gentleman on my right. That's your property, sir. You've won it, sir.
My role within Edward Mellor is to expand and create new ideas and experiences that will make auction day fantastic. But I'll be honest, it's just not about the auction day. There's so much work that goes into that. So I oversee how we market properties. We're looking at different ways of marketing properties now, how we advertise them, how the staff work, how we ring out and sell these properties to people, how we email to people. So my role basically is the running of the auction team whilst embracing new ideas and taking them forward over the forthcoming months.
The types of property that sell at auction are realistically everything that's in the property market: residential property, commercial property, land. We even sell little parcels of land with no reserve. But there is no hard and fast rule. The only thing that we don't really sell at auction are businesses, because we can't transfer the business through the auction. So we're dealing with tenanted investments, residential properties for improvement, the list goes on and on. A lot of people think that you can't buy a property at auction with a mortgage, so if you're a first-time buyer, you may think that you can't do it. Well, that is a popular myth. In fact, you can buy anything at auction related to property, so whether you need a mortgage or not, we can help you. In essence, there's no real hard and fast rule to what can be sold at auction in terms of property. It means that anything can be sold. The only thing that we don't sell at auction is property where there is a business going on with that property.
Pre-auction is where the buyers do their homework, really. You should be doing all your work before the actual day of the auction. So my role there is to work with them in every aspect, from going through the catalogue, drawing up a shortlist, viewing the properties, arranging builders to check it out, surveys, getting the legal pack checked out by solicitors, just getting everything ready ultimately, so that come the day of the auction, they've got all the ducks in a row and they know what they're doing.
Unlike other auctioneers, we also offer a probate service which we've been running for some years now. And it is a service we offer in so much as until the probate's through and it's ready to go to market, we can look after the house or the bungalow or the flat and clean it up, collect the mail, visit it, because a lot of insurance policies insist that properties are visited regularly. And then when they're ready to go to market, we can do the garden, clean it up inside, clean the windows and present it nicely.
I started in this auction experience about 5 years ago when I was still living in the UK. I live in the south of Spain, so I have to fly in for this. I will not fly in from another country to other auctions. I will come only to the Edward Mellor one because I have a better experience and a better human touch to it.
The benefits of using an auction, our auction mainly, is that there's a number of reasons, quick completions for property. You know, the cycle for auction is so short, 6 weeks, is that people can come along, register their property, get it marketed thoroughly by our extended team, and as soon as the hammer goes down in the auction room, that's pretty much exchange of contracts. And as a result of that, within 20 working days or 28 days, you've got your money. So it's a really, really fast way of selling houses.
The difference between the guide price and the reserve price, quite simply, is the guide price is the price that attracts the customer. So it is a price that we feel that the property is worth. The reserve price is the price that the auctioneer agrees with the owners of the property prior to the auction that the property does not sell below. So it is a fixed price which is only known between the vendors and the sellers, which is us. And that is agreed often 2 or 3 days before the auction, subject to the interest levels that we've had in the property and the offers. So it's quite simply, the guide is the price to attract people and the reserve is the price that it cannot sell below, but it has to be within a 10% margin. That's the law.
On the day of the auction, the bidders need to bring with them 2 forms of ID. So one with the photograph, so a passport or a driving licence, and then a recent utility bill with their address on. They also need to bring with them the full solicitor's details, including the person acting for them, and also means of payment. So if you're bidding on the day, you'll need your chequebook or ideally a debit card.
One particular client is ever such a nice old man down in London, and he's got a portfolio of regulated houses, which is where the tenant can stay till they leave or pass away. And I've been working with him for probably just short of 20 years in total, and he phones me, I don't know, every 2 or 3 years, and he's so delighted that I'm still here. You know, oh Louise, it's so lovely that you're still here, and clients like that longevity.
The beauty of using Edward Mellor and the difference that it creates is, as a team, we've looked at ways of making the experience better for the clients, providing almost a roadshow on auction day. We have 2 large rooms, and in the back room we have stands where we have a number of experts. So for example, if you wanted to come to us and talk about extending your house you were thinking of buying at auction, I can direct you to one of our team in our planning department. Similarly, if you want to remortgage your property, we've got financial services experts, lettings experts if you want to have your house let and managed. We've got ourselves as the auctioneers, you can come in and see those. And more importantly, this is new to us, we have individual mortgage consultants. Now they'll be responsible for everything property for each one of the clients that we liaise with. Very Australian, you know, but it makes it very, very personal. And so this isn't just turning up at an auction anymore and just buying a house and hopefully you win it. This is now us dealing with everything you have got to deal with property related.
Post-auction, we tend to have a bit of a second wind, so any properties that didn't sell, didn't quite reach the reserve on the day of the auction, you'll tend to get an influx of buyers afterwards who will come in and make an offer. So behind the scenes, it's almost like you have a second auction again with loads of new buyers coming out the woodwork looking at buying properties.
I bought the first few houses, and then after that there was a lot of after-auction help and interest. It wasn't just to get the house sold, but then how things were fending in the house if I had issues with tenants, because I was on a buy-to-let scheme and I was growing a portfolio. It's usually a very fast-paced auction. It goes quickly. When houses don't sell, they just move on to the next one, which is very important.
Where do we start? 77.5, that's the guide. I do get a little bit nervous. However, it's not a nasty kind of nerves, it's purely because there's an anticipation, it's the build up to the auction. So if you don't have those nerves, I don't think that you'd be suitable to be an auctioneer. But as the auction goes on, the nerves disappear because obviously we're in control and we lose ourselves in that moment in time when we're offering the properties.
I have been in the property industry for 36 years, selling houses either by private treating estate agency or, you know, by auction. And I think, looking at my team, you know, just off the top of my head, with my team we must have 150 years experience between us.